dust on the rails, shadow of the chain. Heart keeps beating, but it don't feel the same. How many miles can a man still crawl before he ain't no man at all? Oh, shadow, shadow of the chain, dragging my soul through the dirt and the rain. Shadow, shadow of the chain, break it, but it stays the same. Moonlight's laughing on the devil's face. Every step forward feels like a disgrace. Hands on my back, pushing me down. Voice in my head says, don't make a sound. Can't find the end of this road. Can't find the place where the pain lets go. Oh, shadow, shadow of the chain, dragging my soul through the dirt and the rain. Shadow, shadow of the chain, break it, but it stays the same. Dust on my tongue, blood on my shoes. Every turn I take feels like I lose. Oh Lord, I'm calling your name, but I'm still trapped in the shadow of the chain. Shadow of the chain. Shadow, 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 shadow of the chain. Break it, but it stays the same.
And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and kittens, welcome back to the very, very dark side of the podcast. And thank you very much. There's a story behind this shirt. I'll tell it once I get through my intro. The podcast is your home for rational privacy and objectivity. Leaving emotion at the door, talking about what we like, why we like it, and where we see it going. We are not offering financial advice. We're telling you what we do, and that is all. We don't slow down. We don't let up. Full speed is our only speed. I'm your host, Scott, pragmatic investor who has won and lost fortunes. Joining me, as always, is the greatest producer of all time, the one, the only, the original, the red-headed Belle. How are you doing tonight, Belle?
Oh, it's been a day, and yeah, I
You
mean,
know,
I did start sipping the booze right before stream, and it's already hitting. So yay, we're gonna see what
you know
happens.
what? We'll give a round of applause for a drunk producer too. You know, there is a problem out here. The studio is like ice cold right now. It's frigid, and if I wasn't talking so close to the microphone right now, which I'm doing this deliberately, not because I think you want to hear my sexy voice, but because I don't want you to see my breath as I'm talking. It's like I'm giving like giving an interview at the end of a football game. You know, where you just all you see these clouds of vapor. So I'm doing my best to see what I can do to combat that. But there is another problem with that, Bell. I leave my booze out here. I got it set up there behind me. You guys can see the shelf. And I do not like cold bourbon. I don't drink it on the rocks. I like room temperature bourbon. I think that like straight out of the barrel, that is where it has the most flavor, where you could taste every single note is at simple room temperature. And this stuff out here, if it would freeze, it would have. I mean, if it could freeze, it would have. It's cold, so now I'm a little bit upset, and I've been trying to combat that by holding it in my hand, holding my my little lowball glass in my hands.
That doesn't work as well.
No, but it's something. It's at least something. So yeah, and the story of
Yeah.
the shirt. Go ahead, Belle. Finish your thought. My
So
shirt story.
still on the booze right now, but okay. So Time Slayer, my kid, had a buddy of his over today to assist him with vehicle repair. That didn't get done, but the buddy of Time Slayer actually ran to the liquor store and decided to gift the podcast with a bottle of 12-year Whistle Pig. And he actually insisted that the chaos coordinator, have a little bit of it before stream. And you can't, when they are being that insistent, you can't exactly say no, especially when they have bought it and they have left it here.
I don't think I would ever say no to a 12-year Whistle Pig. That ain't gonna happen. That shit's going in me. Okay, story of the bowling shirt. I'm a very avid bowler. I love bowling. I've been doing it my entire life. I took a hiatus on it for about 20 years. Between Eaton and Vertiv, I just didn't have time. There was no way I could ever commit to any kind of league, so I just kind of let it go. But I recently started getting back into it, and I rediscovered my passion for the game. I absolutely adore it. I like any kind of sport that has zero defense. There is no defense in bowling. It's pure offense. It's like defense in skeet shooting or downhill skiing. There is no defense, all right? You just do it the very best that you can, and you kind of hope for the best. But it ignited my passion again so much that I actually started another YouTube channel. It's called Low Rev Bowling Mastery. I'll say that one more time. Or maybe Bella would be a sweetheart and link it over there in the chat. I have 11 subscribers now. 11. I am just killing it. Nobody wants to see old guys. They don't want to see old guys with old, stroker kind of styles. They want to see these 500 revolution 20-mile-an-hour balls that just detonate the pins. And I don't do that. I am an old school kind of Norm Duke-ish kind of bowler, and it works for me. It does. So Bell was nice enough to help me shoot my very first video. It's up on the channel right now. It has 4 views. 4 views, and only 3 of them were me. So that means somebody else watched it. But yes, if Belle would be a sweetheart, want to help me out, I'd certainly appreciate it. You got to be passionate. You got to be passionate about what you're doing and what kind of content you're putting out. Now, clearly, we are very, very passionate about philosophy of governance. We're both very, very passionate about that. We're very, very passionate about crypto, but we're the only people that are left that seems to be passionate about crypto. So we're going to talk, mix it up here a little bit, get a little bit more spicy with some of the politics. And I hope you guys can tolerate us on that. And the only reason I'm battling on instead of going into my monologue, and it's a good one tonight, for those of you who have never heard of Cloward-Piven Strategy, you're about to. I'm going to lay out the 5 W's of all of this stuff and then ask you to open your eyes and just look around, because this is not a theory. This has been put into place, and it has been happening for a good 50 damn years now, and you're starting to see the results. $38 trillion in debt. Doesn't matter. But that's what my monologue's going to be. But I forgot to plug in my teleprompter iPad. I can't remember all of this. I could write it, but I can't remember all of it verbatim to be able to do it off the cuff like this. I actually need the teleprompter, and it's charging up just a little bit right now. So I'm going to take a very, very short change in the screen, turn it over to Belle. Belle, go ahead and give shout outs to everybody in there. Take your time because I got to get this thing set up, and just say hi and entertain the audience, Belle, because that's the job.
All right. So Political, aka Jeff Papa. Yeah, you were starting off the conversation saying who's number one? That is tonight's chat topic. Yeah, no, Jeff Papa, you're not number one. I'm sorry. I hate to break it to you, but no, you're not. But hi anyway, and I'm glad that you were able to join tonight. So we've got Sofa Ninja, we've got G Torres, we've got Fisherman, aka Idiot Fish, we've got Miro, and yeah, we've got Ryan Ferrier.
That's a new name. I'm not familiar with that.
Who's asking howdy do, homies? Again, it's been a day on my end, Ryan, and I hope you can bear with us.
Yes, and I do appreciate it. From me as Chief Operations Officer of Sigia Cloud Labs, it was actually a tremendously successful day. We're going to give you guys all of the information, the details, all that other good stuff. We're still working through a couple things since our transition, but I personally slammed via Sigia Cloud desktop. I personally slammed just shy of 100 gigabytes straight up to Jackal. And I could not be happier about this. I could not be happier about what we done, the bridge, the fact that it's working, functional, the team that we have now. It's all coming up us, and we are going to change everything about the way people view blockchain. Just let us cook a little bit. So with that, Jason, this is where it'll start. Assuming that I left my teleprompter remote, I left it on last night when I left. I'm hoping that the extreme cold saved a little bit of the batteries, saved some of the batteries. So if I get wonky right in the middle of it, that's exactly what happened. So anyway, Jason, yes, I do want this posted as a separate video. What to do, and we're gonna get to it in 3, in 2, in 1. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the dark side of the podcast. I'm your host, Scott, libertarian through and through, constitutional conservative to my core, and unapologetically skeptical of any scheme that smells like big government overreach. If you're tuning in from the shadows where the truth hides from the mainstream glare, you're in the right place. Today, we are diving deep into a topic that's been bubbling under the surface for decades, but feels like it's exploding right in front of our eyes in 2026. I'm talking about the Cloward-Piven Strategy, a blueprint for societal collapse disguised as compassion. Now, as a freedom-loving American who believes in limited government, individual responsibility, and the sacred words of our Constitution, I see this for what it is, a monstrous plot engineered by radical leftists to overload our system, to create chaos, and usher in their version of the socialist utopia on the ashes of our republic. And folks, if you're paying attention to the border crisis, the exploding national debt, the endless entitlement expansions, and even that market meltdown that we just witnessed a few hours ago, trillions wiped out in hours, it's playing out like a scripted nightmare. So buckle up, because I'm going to break it down, expose the why, and arm you with the knowledge to fight back. And I say, let's roll. Now, first, I got to set the stage. Who the hell are Richard Cloward and Francis Fox Piven? I got a hunch a couple people in the chat might know, but only a couple people. These weren't just some fringe academics scribbling in obscurity. Cloward was a sociologist at Columbia University, and Piven, his wife, was also a professor there. both deeply embedded in the radical activism of the 1960s. They were political activists masquerading as scholars, influenced heavily by the Marxist undercurrents of the era. In May 1966, they dropped their bombshell in a liberal rag called The Nation with an article titled "The Weight of the Poor, a Strategy to End Poverty." Now, that sounds noble, right? You bet it does. Ending poverty. Who could argue with that? But peel back the layers, and it's a Trojan horse for revolution. What was the core of their strategy? It was simple. Overload the welfare system to the breaking point. They argued that the existing welfare programs, think the war on poverty under LBJ, they were too stingy and too bureaucratic, leaving millions of eligible poor people unenrolled. What was their plan? To mobilize militant anti-poverty groups to flood the system with claims, encourage every single eligible person to sign up, demand every benefit, and push the bureaucracy into chaos. Why? Because when the system buckles under the weight, when welfare rolls explode, budgets burst, and local governments go bankrupt, it would trigger a massive political crisis. Now, that crisis, this was their hope, would force the federal government to step in with a guaranteed minimum income for all. This is from the 60s, guys. For a guaranteed minimum income for all, effectively redistributing wealth on a national scale and dismantling the capitalist framework. It's not about helping the poor. It's never been about helping the poor. It's about using them as pawns to collapse the system and rebuild it in a socialist image. Now, let me break down the steps that they outlined. These are their words, because this isn't some vague theory. It's a calculated playbook. Step 1, mass enrollment. Get organizers on the ground, in the streets, in the communities, signing up everyone who's even remotely eligible. Don't just help them, agitate. Stage protests, disrupt welfare offices, make demands that expose the system's flaws. Step 2, overload and crisis. As claims skyrocket, the costs balloon, explode. Local and state budgets can't handle it. Think bankruptcies, service cuts, public outrage. Now, the poor suffer more in the short term, but that's the point. Amplify the misery to force change. Step 3, federal intervention. The chaos pushes the Democratic Party, which controlled Congress and the White House in 1966, to abandon incremental reforms and go big. A guaranteed minimum income, nationalized welfare, wealth redistribution. Step 4, systemic transformation. Boom. Capitalism crumbles under the weight of entitlements and, hello, centralized control. Cloward and Piven weren't hiding their intentions. They wrote it all out plain as day. Now, I'm going to zoom out to the historical context because this didn't happen in a vacuum. The 1960s were a powder keg. Civil rights movement, Vietnam War protests, urban riots. Lyndon Johnson's Great Society was pumping billions into welfare, Medicare, Medicaid, expanding the nanny state like never before. But for radicals like Cloward and Piven, it wasn't enough. They saw poverty not as a problem to solve through opportunity and hard work, but as a weapon to wield against the system. They drew inspiration from Saul Alinsky's community organizing tactics: disrupt, agitate, polarize. Does this sound familiar to what you're seeing right this second? And they put it into action through groups like the National Welfare Rights Organization, which Piven helped found. They mobilized thousands. Welfare rolls doubled in the late 60s and early 70s, from about 6 million to over 10 million. New York City nearly went bankrupt in 1975, partly due to skyrocketing welfare costs. Now, I would ask, was that a coincidence? Hardly. Their strategy worked on a local level, but nationally, it backfired, leading to welfare reforms under Nixon and later even under Bill Clinton that added work requirements. Yet the seeds were planted. Now, fast forward to today, January 29, 2026, and tell me this isn't unfolding right before your eyes. Now, as a libertarian conservative, I look at the state of our nation and I see Cloward-Piven on steroids. Take the border crisis. Millions pouring in unchecked. Overwhelming immigration systems, schools, hospitals, and welfare rolls. It's not compassion. It's engineered overload. Cities like New York and Chicago are declaring emergencies. Budgets are bursting. And who's footing the bill? Taxpayers. The federal government steps in with bailouts, expanding its reach. Does it sound familiar? Or look at student loans. Trillions in debt, forgiven or deferred, encouraging more borrowing, more defaults. The system groans under the weight. And what do they propose? More federal control over education. Then there's the national debt, 38 trillion and climbing, fueled by endless entitlements. Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, these programs are insolvent. But instead of reforming them to promote self-reliance, politicians simply pile on more. Universal health care pushes, free college, reparation talks. It's classic Cloward-Piven. Overload until collapse, then save us with bigger government. And don't get me started on the market crash that we just saw. I know it's got some recovery. Gold, silver, stocks. In a very brief hour, they tanked trillions. It is not acceptable. So I ask, is it a coincidence that amid geopolitical tensions, tariff wars, and shutdown threats, by the way, unless something happens, it goes on tomorrow, the system buckles? Or is it the fruit of decades of fiscal irresponsibility amplified by radical policies that echo this strategy? Now, from my libertarian lens, I'm speaking for me, not for Bell. This is monstrous because it assaults the very foundation of our Constitution. Article 1, Section 8, huge fan, limits federal powers. Where's the clause for guaranteed income or wealth distribution? Because I didn't see it there. The 10th Amendment reserves powers to the states and people, not central planners in D.C. Cloward and Piven's plan treats individuals as cogs in a machine, eroding personal liberty and destroying property rights. It's anti-American. We built this nation on self-reliance, free markets, and limited government, not dependence and crisis exploitation. They saw the poor as tools for revolution. I see them as fellow citizens deserving opportunity, not handouts that trap generations in poverty. And conservatives, we know the score. Family, faith, fiscal responsibility. These are absolutely under attack. Their strategy weaponizes compassion to divide us, pitting classes against each other in a Marxist fever dream. It's playing out in real time with identity politics, cancel culture, and endless crises that demand more state intervention. Climate emergencies overload energy grids with mandates. Crime waves defund police, then cry for federal oversight. It's all connected. But here's the hope. Dark side faithful. Awareness is our weapon, and it's the last one we have. As constitutional conservatives, we fight back with truth, votes, and vigilance. I have to add this part. I don't want to, but I did type it. Support leaders who cut spending, secure borders, and promote free enterprise. Educate your neighbors if you got the guts. Share this podcast. Don't let the monsters win. Wrapping up, the Cloward-Piven strategy isn't ancient history. It's a living threat, eroding our freedoms and unfolding before our very eyes. From 1966 to 2026, the playbook hasn't changed. Overload, crisis, control. But we, the people, hold the power. Stay vigilant, and you'll stay free. Now, this is the dark side of the podcast. Signing off. Hit like, subscribe, comment your thoughts below, and follow at the podcast on X for more. Keep it dark, keep it real. And we're going to see you guys next time. And I'm giving myself a round of applause, Bell, because I don't care who you are or what you think. I am dead on right about every single bit of that. I am 100% correct. I just didn't think I would see it come to this level of fruition before my very eyes. I just didn't think. I was hoping I would be dead by now, that I would be spared from this. Because the way I see it, Bell, there's no stopping this now. There is absolutely no stopping this. Everything that Cloward-Piven talked about is coming to pass. They are literally following the playbook. And when you need media coverage, you have Saul Alinsky's rules for radicals, which you see in play on every goddamn CNN panel that I ever see out there. That's what I see. And it just seems like it has created this perfect storm that nothing can really stop it now. This will happen. The system will be overloaded. The system will buckle under its own weight. And when that happens, the only thing left is central authority. Now, who do you think craves that kind of central authority and makes rugged individualism, meaning people who are self-sustaining, people who don't need the government in every aspect of their life? Who do you think that this is going to favor? What we see out there right now? I mean, we literally have people in Minnesota that are protesting immigration and customs enforcement from doing their and completing their specifically constitutionally enumerated powers. They don't want that. These people are literally, and I'm no fan of government. You know I'm no fan of government, Bell. You never get up and say, yeah, we need more government in my life. You'll never hear me say that, ever. But for some reason, as soon as the government's doing its job, and I support them for doing their fucking job, for taking their paycheck, but actually doing what they're supposed to be doing. Suddenly I'm the radical. Suddenly I'm the bad guy. Suddenly I am the heartless monster that just wants to see boots on necks. You are so wrong about this, around so much of this shit. But you know what the fun part is, and this is actually my favorite part, Bell, is you're going to get everything that you think you want. But I want you to tell me if you like what you get. Socialism is for the people. It's not for the socialist. They don't want to live under the system that they set up and prescribe for you. We call them penthouse Bolsheviks, limousine liberals. But they have no intention of living under the crushing boot, the weight of tyranny that they're going to put on you. They're the gardeners, and you're the garden. This is real. Bell. questions or comments?
All right, so we've just got a couple of comments so far. We don't have a lot of questions.
All of
But
that?
the first-
Nothing? Was it? I'm sorry. Go ahead, Bill. I thought it was a good one.
We'll get back onto this because you kept bringing up Medicare and Medicaid,
Gotta do
and yeah, we'll get into that one just to drive the point home a little more because I have a resource that you don't,
Likely.
so I can pull up numbers.
Sure.
All right, so G Torres. Great bowling, Scott. I believe any sport that involves aiming, Scott will do well in.
You know, I can do okay. We bowled 4 games today. The first game was like my warm-up game. We don't get any warm-up shots when you open bowl. But the last 3 games, my combined series was 760. So I dare say that I was on. And if you want to watch it, the video's available over there on Low Rev Bowling. So go ahead and take a look at it because this is how it played out. But yeah, man, I appreciate that. Go ahead, Bill.
All right. So next one coming in from Political, aka Jeff Fafa. I think he should take up paintball.
You know what? I could because you're not going to see any paintball hits on this shirt. So yeah, maybe that'll be next. Carry on. Is there?
I kind of want you to pick up paintball because then I would have an excuse to learn how to make my very own ghillie suit. And yeah, as long as we are on the same team, we are going to annihilate everyone else playing against us.
Oh, I don't know about that. You know, that's funny. I've played paintball a few times. And you know what? You think you're okay going in. You think you are. And then you find out the guys who have dedicated their entire life to this that just happen to be on the other side of the field from you today. And it's what's with the pouty face?
You're kind of shutting me down on the excuse to make my very own ghillie suit to blend in with the environment and take people out.
Okay, I dare you to do it. In fact, make the ghillie suit and wear it on the stream. Come back up and we'll say, who's talking to me? Who's talking? I can't even see her there. Yeah, go ahead, make it. I'm defying you. I dare you. I double dog dare you. All right. I triple dare you. That's as far as you can go. Go ahead, Belle. Carry on.
All right, so Fisherman, aka Idiot Fish, I really like what you guys are doing with the stream.
And I appreciate it, man. It typically, it mostly falls on deaf ears, man. People don't want to hear about this, man. They want politics as a blood sport. That is what drives views, drives things. We were talking about the Minnesota riots, and I actually got comments on videos. None of them were favorable. They were all like, well, how much were you bribed to say the things you're saying? You guys heard it. I'm not wrong about any of that. And no, we weren't paid to do it. I do it by choice. But that's all it was. And somebody's like, I'm going to unsub from you right now. It's like, really? I don't even know your name, bro. I don't see you on the live streams too much. Go ahead. You'll be missed. You know, and the the $60 a month that we make on YouTube for all the time and effort that we spend in this, that's really going to take a hit. So you'll certainly be missed. So we should bring back that stuff. Have Belle start reading all the bad comments I get on this. But yeah, I mean, those guys are still out there in full force. They're cruising social media, looking for any sign of dissent. And then they just pounce. And, you know, they do it with this dismissive, holier-than-thou attitude. And suddenly their comments carry weight. I respond to all of them. I can't wait to get you on a stream and have you say something while I am live. I fucking double dog dare you to do it. Anyway, carry on, Belle. Do a longer one. I got to queue up a new song.
All right. So, yeah, Siggy fan saying, good evening. How is everyone doing today? Just getting here tonight. Well, Siggy fan, we're talking politics today, and that's a little bit different for us. So, yeah.
It ain't that different.
Yeah. And, okay. So... We've got, we were talking about the Cloward-Piven strategy a minute ago, and yeah, there's some info that you guys might have to get thrown in your faces to bring that one home because, hello, it affects you directly.
Yeah, but I'm not sure people really care anymore. I honestly, I'm not even sure people give a shit. Like I said, they want to be entertained. That's it. breads and circuses, that's what people want. There's not a lot of people that are out there talking about Cloward-Piven on a modern live stream. It's just not happening. On talk radio, it's just not happening. People want blood sport. That's it. I should be talking about the UK tonight and all the stuff that was posted up. I mean, cops are arresting the wrong people over there, or bobbies are arresting the wrong people. I mean, it's ludicrous what's going over there in the UK. They need Siggia Cloud. They absolutely need us, and I promise you, we will be there. But that's what we should be talking about, because that's what people are tuned into. I don't really care about what's going on right now, because everything that's going on right now to me seems incredibly inevitable. We've had decades and decades and decades of this this inexhaustible march to socialism, and people want it because they haven't experienced it yet. They haven't experienced socialism without capitalism. They haven't experienced the things that they are advocating for. And by the time they get exactly what they're advocating for, it's too fucking late. You can't get it back. You can't be a little bit pregnant, and you can't be a little bit socialistic. It just doesn't work that way. These are binary governing philosophies. And it's amazing to me. And like I said, if I could do anything about it, I would. This is all I can do about it. I can get in front of a microphone, and I can spout my nonsense to 10 or 12 people, and then that's it. That's it. That's all the authority that I have in this, because I would not ever dare to speak for another person. I just wouldn't do it. I don't know you, don't know your I don't know any of that stuff, but I know agitators, and I know I know radicals, and I know agitators when I see them, and that's all I'm seeing now. But that's what we should be covering. But I refuse. If we hit something that's interesting to me, we will cover whatever modern news happens to be going on today. I understand that's what people want, but I am a lot more interested in how we got here than what do we do now. That's just me. Anyway, Bell, one more if you got one. If not, I'll play a song, and then you can have your say.
All right. So, Siggia fan, guitar, sword, and scar. Who could ask anything more?
Yeah, I got range, dude. I got a lot of range. All of these weapons are real weapons. They're not they're not theater weapons. They are actually real weapons. They're all historically accurate. I'm a blacksmith. I make medieval armor, and I believe through my own research and reading treaties and going to the Met and handling armor and stuff like that I'm creating it accurately. But who really knows these days? But because of that, I believe that all of my weaponry should be as historically accurate as possible. And all of these weapons that are there, including the FAL, by the way, I don't know if that's visible right there, Jeff Fafa. That's a FAL. And that is the right arm. That is the right arm of democracy, or the right arm of freedom is sitting right there. But yeah, all of these, every weapon that's up there is historically accurate. They've all seen the field of battle. And I just like to surround myself with things that are authentic. So anyway, we'll get back to the rest here. Belle's going to have her say now, because I told her I was doing Cloward-Piven. So she said, okay, well, let's talk about what happens after Cloward-Piven comes to pass, after the Cloward-Piven strategy actually comes to pass. So she's got right up. She's ready to go with this one. But before then, you guys know how it is here. We're going to take a little break. We're going to play a little bit of music off the KPOD label, and we will be right back, folks, on the KPOD, on the podcast on the KPOD network. Don't go anywhere.
Ears open wide, but they never hear. Teflon smiles, but they words so brittle.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and kittens, welcome back to the podcast. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We are now going to turn the show over to the greatest producer of all time, the one, the only, the original, the redheaded Belle. She's got some counterpoints to what I just discussed. Siggy of fans, stand by, brother. It's coming your way. Belle, do your thing.
All right, guys. And again, welcome back to the dark side of the podcast. If you caught the last monologue on the Cloward-Piven strategy, you know we're not just talking about theory anymore. That insidious playbook overloading our systems to force collapse and socialist control isn't just some dusty relic from the 60s. It's the script playing out in real time. You know, there are similarities between what's happening there and Fallout, if you guys have been watching that one. So, anyway, border chaos, exploding debt, endless entitlements. It's all designed to break us down. But what happens next? When the wheels finally come off? When the overload turns to outright breakdown? That's what this opinion editorial is all about. As a freedom fighter staring down the barrel of 2026's madness, I'll lay it out plain. What to expect when things start breaking down in this country? This isn't fear-mongering. It's a wake-up call. Buckle up for this 10-minute dive into the storm ahead. Let's roll. First, picture this. The breakdown won't hit like a Hollywood apocalypse, zombies and explosions overnight. No, it's gonna creep in like a thief in the night, building on the cracks we already see. We've got a national debt worth north of $38 trillion. Inflation that's been tamed, but is still gnawing at your wallet, and markets that can wipe out trillions in an hour, as we just witnessed. When things really start breaking, expect economic shocks to go from bad to brutal. Shortages will become the norm. Not just toilet paper like in 2020, but food, fuel, medicine. Supply chains already strained by trade wars and tariffs will snap under the weight of global tensions. Imagine gas lines stretching for miles, grocery shelves bare because trucking grinds to a halt from fuel costs or regulations. This is already happening, guys. You don't have to imagine hard. Prices skyrocket. Your dollar buys less every day, and hyperinflation whispers in the wind. As a libertarian, I see this as the inevitable fruit of fiat money and endless printing. The Fed's house of cards collapsing, leaving us peasants to pick up the pieces. Socially, the breakdown will amplify the divisions Cloward-Piven sowed. Crime waves? We've seen the previews with defunded police and revolving door justice. Expect full-blown unrest. Riots in cities as resources dwindle. Gangs filling the vacuum where law enforcement retreats. Neighborhoods turn into fortresses. Good folks arming up because the government's too busy bailing out failed systems to protect you. Identity politics. That Marxist divider will fuel the fire-pitting races, classes, and regions against each other. Rural versus urban, red versus blue, it'll be a powder keg. And don't forget the health crises. Overloaded hospitals from migrant surges or entitlement bloat, and those mean longer waits, rationed care, maybe even black market meds. And if you guys do your digging, you can already see how that is in fact happening. As a constitutional conservative, this guts me. Our Second Amendment rights will be tested like never before as desperate people clash and tyrants push for emergency gun grabs. Institutionally, watch for the government to double down on control, just like Cloward-Piven dreamed. When local systems buckle, schools overwhelmed, welfare offices in chaos, power grids failing from green mandates, the feds swoop in. Expect martial law light. Temporary curfews, surveillance spikes, digital IDs to track resources. That's already happening in other locations worldwide. Borders? I mean, those are already a sieve. In breakdown mode, it'll be invasions unchecked, straining every service until states declare independence or something close. Elections? Rigged with doubt, delayed by multiple crises, or manipulated to keep the First Amendment curtailed for hate speech. The fourth for security checks, and the 10th ignored as DC centralizes everything. It's the monster's endgame. Use the chaos they created to justify totalitarianism. And personally, this is where it hits home. Expect isolation friends and family divided by propaganda. Communities fracturing under stress. Mental health plummeting. Suicides rising as hope fades. But here's the darkest bit of truth. The poor and the middle class are going to suffer the most. They're trapped in the dependency web Cloward-Piven wove. Handouts are going to dry up or devalue. This is already happening. Do your research. This is going to leave more folks out and leave them desperate. As someone who values individual freedom and liberty above all, I warn. Your freedoms erode quietly at first. Bank accounts being frozen for suspicious activity. Speech monitored on socials. Travel restricted by carbon limits. In the breakdown, self-reliance becomes survival. Stockpiles of food, water, ammo This isn't paranoia. This is literally prudence. Barter economies are gonna emerge, and they are already starting. Okay, yeah, I need eggs. Well, what can I do to get eggs from this person that I know has plenty? Okay, this is literally happening now. Crypto or gold is real money when fiat fails. Why paint this grim picture? Because forewarned is forearmed. This isn't inevitable doom. It's what happens if we let the Cloward-Piven playbook run its course. But as a libertarian conservative, I believe in the American spirit, the rugged individuals that built this nation. We can expect the worst, but we can also prepare to fight it. Start now. Build your local networks. Support constitutional sheriffs. Demand fiscal sanity from your representatives. Vote out the enablers. Push for term limits. Audit the Fed. Embrace free markets. Deregulate. Cut taxes. Let innovation thrive. And spiritually, cling to faith, family, and wow. Cling to faith, family, and the principles that you were raised on, the principles that our founding fathers put in all of our documents. The Constitution isn't a suggestion, it's our shield. In the end, when things break down, expect pain, chaos, and opportunists exploiting it. But also expect resilience from we the people. We've weathered wars, depressions, divisions before. This time, armed with knowledge of the plot against us, we can turn the tide. Don't cower in the dark. Rise up, resist, build on freedom's foundation. This is Bella with the Dark Side of the Podcast signing off. If this resonates, hit the like, share, subscribe, and make sure you tell your friends who might still be asleep at the wheel about this. Definitely give Scott and I a follow on Twitter at dpodcast and at Bella the Prod for more unfiltered truth. Keep it dark, keep it real. Peace.
And there you go, guys. A big old round of applause for Bella. She hasn't gotten the microphone time that she clearly needs to have, and yeah, this is the new way forward for the podcast. So I hope you guys kind of appreciate it. It's tough, man. It's tough sitting up here in front of the microphone. It's tough with the cameras on you, and everybody's looking at you and judging every goddamn thing you do. You say yeah, and it takes a very, very thick skin. And fortunately, she has one, because she wouldn't have said the shit that she just said if she didn't. But there's not a word in there that I disagree with. She is absolutely right. And yeah, man, look, it is what it is, guys. Look, if you are not personally willing to stand up and do something about this, then it's going to run its course. And we know what happens. That's the funny thing. It's not that we don't have 6,000 years of human history to look back on and say, okay, what happened when X, Y, and Z happened? What was the result of that? It's not like it's that hard to open a fucking book and just take a look and say, yeah, that didn't work out real well. And yet we look at it, every one of these scenarios, as if it was brand new, as if this has never occurred before. Oh my God, what are humans to do? It's all occurred before. All we're doing is repeating it. It's like that goddamn Tom Cruise movie where he died every single day, but he got better, than when he came back the next day. I forget the name of that movie. If you know it, put it in chat because I'd like to watch that again. But we've seen how this plays out. And that's the amazing thing to me, is that we have seen how this plays out, and yet we still sit there and indulge it. We still sit here and say, yeah, but maybe it's different. And it's not different. Nothing is different. It's the same shit with a bunch of people that are simply ignorant of the past because we don't care about history, because we don't teach it, because people don't read anymore. It's like too much fucking trouble. They need it regurgitated to them in whatever form the speaker seems to choose, and from whichever side of the aisle he is, and whatever biases they bring with them. And everybody just seems to be, yeah, that's how it is now. It's not how it is. You dumb shit. Open a book and read it for yourself and see what actually occurred, because you think you've seen pain. You think you've seen horror. You think you have seen destruction. Baby, 26-year Navy vet, most of them overseas. You haven't seen shit yet, but it's coming. Jeff, I will address your question, Bell. You ain't got to ask this one, because I saw that Jeff asked it. What do I think about gold and silver? I'm going to go off the rails here on this one for just a minute, brother. I want to answer your question, but I want to make sure you know exactly where I'm coming from on this. I'm a huge fan of real money. And in this case, gold, silver, copper, platinum, things that can be traded for goods and services. A long time ago, when currency came into existence, a fisherman who didn't sell his fish that he caught the same day was out all those rotting fish because there was nothing to trade for them. If he needed bricks 6 months from now, tough shit. All right. Because then you better catch fish 6 months from now, but there was nothing he could stockpile. All right. Raw materials or consumer goods, perishables, perished simply because they couldn't be sold, because I don't need what you're offering me this way. This is the original barter system before we started to come into actual physical currency. Now, I'm going to finish my thought here, man. All right. I'm taking you all the way back to the inception of currency to where we are right now. I'm a huge fan of gold and silver, but you have to accept a little bit of reality to this. It's only worth what somebody will give you for it, period. It's only worth what somebody will give you for it at that very moment. And if you take your ounce of gold and you go to Hy-Vee or your local supermarket and load up your carts with $5,500 worth of goods for your 1 ounce of gold, and go to the register and just simply give them the gold, you know goddamn good and well what's going to happen. Nothing is going to happen. It's only worth what somebody will give you for it. Now, I still believe in gold and silver as should be the ultimate currency, but we're off the gold standard. Unless you're in Utah, which has enabled the trading of gold and silver with weights and all that other good stuff. But unless you're in Utah, everywhere else, it's fucking worthless when you go to spend it. But let me finish my thought on this. Gold and silver, precious metals, currency, real currency, only has value in a civil or semi-civil society. Outside of that, it is worthless. It's not worth shit. Let me paint you a real quick picture here. Who remembers Hurricane Katrina? Show of hands. You betcha you remember Hurricane Katrina, because it took less than 6 hours for society to completely break down. All of your elected leaders fled north like fucking cowards. Your civil servants, your policemen, your firemen, where were they? Heading north. Everybody ran like rats, and that's how quick it takes a society to break down. Now, what's my point in this? Let's pretend you had a home there in New Orleans. Life is good. You got a bunch of money, you got tons of gold and silver, and you're ready. But the very second that something goes wrong, what good is that gold and silver? It's not worth shit. It's not worth shit. So while I could dedicate the whole show to this tomorrow if you guys want. You want me to, put it in the comments, because I will elaborate. But the only thing that I hold aside from a little bit of gold, a little bit of silver, because you never know. But the thing to me that holds more value than gold or silver is bullets, period. Because force is the ultimate deciding factor in how this transaction is going to be completed. I prefer bullets over gold or silver. It has more bartering power than either one of those. And when society breaks down, I know it can never, ever happen. Hurricane Katrina, New Orleans. I understand that society will always be there and that it will always be just the way you remember it until it isn't. And once it isn't, there is nothing you can do to unring that bell. You're either prepared for it or you're simply not. And the thing that helps me sleep every single night is the 50,000 plus rounds of various calibers that I have available to me at a moment's notice. I cannot trade gold for chickens or eggs or milk or beef when shit really hits the fan. But I can trade 308s for it. I can trade 9mm for it. I can trade 45s for it. My exotic ammo, and I do have exotic ammo, a lot of SIG 357, 44 longs, all that other good stuff, that's effectively worthless because it only has value to people who are chambering those rounds, and not a lot of people do. So eventually you're going to have to get to the point where you realize that what you have has real value regardless of the state of society, or it only has value while society holds together. Yes, I believe a collapse is inevitable. It's not if, it's when. Open your eyes, look around, and just explore what's going on right here, because literally every word that I said and Bell said tonight is playing out right before your eyes if you want to see it. And it ain't that fucking hard to see. Anyway, there you go. Hope that answered the question, Jeff. I know it did. Bell, please carry on.
All right. So, Siggy fan, someone got pissed at me because I said something positive about the Leo actions going on and said, you'll just let Trump make a police state. I was like, fool, I've been fighting it since the 1990s. Where have you been, is what I said.
Yeah, and isn't that funny, though, about all that? As soon as the federal government exercises their specific enumerated power, and in this case, it's in Article 1, Section 8. We've gone on and on about this. But as soon as they exercise their specific enumerated power, suddenly it's a police state. You guys are out of your goddamn minds. They're doing their jobs. That's all that they're doing. An open border and a welfare state cannot coexist ever. Ever. Show me the society that's managed to do it. And if you could show me that society, I'm going to move there. I still have that ability. I can fix large-scale UPSs. I can bring light to darkened places. I can keep data centers running. I can always find a job, regardless of where it is. But show me the society that has been managed to do that. If you show me that one, I will go there. The gauntlet has been thrown. Bell, please carry on.
All right. So, Political, have you guys tried the new app that takes your voice and overlays it on songs? Scott could be the voice behind Hotel California.
Yeah, I answered that question, bro. No, I have not. And I'm sorry. I poured some of that Jack Daniels jet fuel in this glass because I'm out of this. I'm out of the Iowa bourbon, and that stuff hits a little hard. Bell, 128 proof. I mean, yes, I might as well be drinking isopropyl alcohol with a little hint of oak. That's what I'm getting here. But I'm sorry, it gives me the hiccups. That stuff hits a ton, and I am a veteran drinker. No, sir, I have not. But if it's very, very important to you that you hear it, I will create a song with my voice. And yeah. Hiccupy Bell. This stuff, God, that shit hits a ton. Don't drink that. My goodness, man. That is not a pleasant experience. Yeah, Jeff, if that's what you need, I will make it happen. But when I do, you got to tip me $10. Anyway, Carry on, Bill. I'm still hiccuping here. Carry on, Bill.
Yeah, I can tell. I can tell you're still hiccuping. All right. Ironically, that was the last question for the moment.
No,
Yeah.
and that works perfectly because we're about at time. I apologize for the late start. I had to pick up my kid. Still hiccuping. I had to pick up my kid from St. Teresa's, and yeah, he's in a play that's going on over there. So he had play practice today. It was a little still hiccuping. It was a little bit late, and I apologize. We'll be back on normal time tomorrow, I assure you, unless the end of the world happens. I'm still hiccuping. Unless the end of the world happens tomorrow, then I'll do my best. Guys, look, man, we love to talk with you, not at you. If you are not familiar with Cloward-Piven and you tuned in for the entire stream, I assure you right now that you are informed about Cloward-Piven, and I hope you got some takeaways from that. It's very, very meaningful for me. It's very, very impactful, and it's just amazing seeing it actually play out in real time. I never thought I'd see it. I never thought I'd see the day, but yet here we are. It's today. So please chew it over. If you got more questions, please bring them to us tomorrow. And yeah, we're going to be live. We'll do a week summary of the entire week tomorrow. I can't stop hiccuping, Bell. Look, we'll see you tomorrow. Turn it over to Bell. Talk us up. Take us out. I can't stop hiccuping. This is rough.
Buddy, I think I've had more to drink than Scott has tonight. But anyway, guys. All right. As always, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who joined us tonight, we cannot say thank you guys enough. We do appreciate each and every one of you guys and the comments and questions you send our way. Now, with that being said, Scott and I are going to be on tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. In between now and then, if you guys have any other comments, questions, or concerns, definitely don't hesitate to reach out to either Scott or myself, Scott@thepodcast.com or Bella@thepodcast.com, and we'll get those answered for you. Again, we can't thank you enough, guys, and we'll see you tomorrow.